Ahoy survivors and friends, SHADOWFRAX here and welcome to the deep sea, because today we have finally got access to the Orcs 01 branch, which contains the Naval update, which is coming in November, although it is currently very buggy and there are a lot of things that are either missing or work in progress, but I'm going to try my best. And this is a little bit of a different video because I'm currently running out of time because this has only just come out, and also I'm suffering from some kind of medieval disease which may or may not start with C and end with D, I'm not sure. Anyway, as I say, a lot of this is work in progress. I'm probably going to miss a few things out or get a few things wrong as I'm going into this blind, but we're going to start with the first thing, which is boat building. Okay, so boat building, and the first thing that you're going to need is a boat building station, which must be placed in the water, certain depth. It needs to be about here. There we go. Not right on the shore, but once that is down, you can start editing a boat. There is an area that's surrounded by buoys, and you can walk on this grid. From there, what you need is a boat plan, which is like a building plan, but it's green instead of blue, and from that you can select a number of different pieces, just like if you were building a base. So there are a couple of hull pieces, there are a couple of floor pieces, there are some walls, window, door, low wall, low cannon wall, which has a hole in it for a cannon, a low wall barrier, and some boat stairs. So let's start by making ourselves just some random boat. I won't go too crazy, just try and give you an idea of exactly what you can do. I'm just going to put a point on it so that it's aqua dynamic, and then we can build ourselves a little cabin. Why not? Then we can also put down some low walls. So we want to put them around the edge of the boat, stop people falling over. You've also got a cannon wall here, which you can see has a slot in it, and there is also the low wall barrier, which is like a wall but a bit more decorative, I guess. And then we have stairs which just look like that. There you go. I think I've used all the bit. We've got an anchor which goes like that, has to be placed on the edge. There's a motor as well, which I don't think has to be placed anywhere particularly, but it has a fuel storage which you can't access at the moment, and you're apparently supposed to be able to turn it on by holding E, but that also doesn't work. However, that's not the only form of power that we have, because we do have sails. Say put 3 sails in. Then we also have a wheel, which put at the front here, and you have a plank which you can stick kind of so that it hangs over the side, and then we've got cannons as well, which can be placed in these slots if you so wish, or anywhere basically. We're going to finish building, which now activates the boat. I can mount the cannons. You are supposed to be able to reload them by pressing and holding E. And I do have cannon balls in my inventory, but it doesn't seem to be working, which is a bit of a shame, as the engine is not working. Let's lower these sails. We're not going particularly fast. It does say that we've got a certain amount of mass, a certain amount of health, no power. There are another couple of things that I forgot to mention. There are doors which have nice portholes in them, especially created for boats, and there are boat ladders as well, which like normal ladders, but a bit more boaty. I am told that on release you will only be able to build boats out of wood. I think that's all subject to change, but it would be nice to have something made of metal, wouldn't it? I'm going to go to the deep sea in a moment, but before that, I have a rusty sponsor. There are 2 types of people, those who play Rust and those who play with Rust. And the best way to do that is with your own server. Bend the world to your every whim, build whatever you want, wherever you want it, spy on the inhabitants, and indulge in as much admin abuse, responsible behaviour, as you can handle. Maybe you want to make epic cinematics, or just slap on a whitelist and play with your friends. Well, this is where you need Pine Hosting, the very best place to get your own high-performance server in only a few minutes. Load whatever plugins you want with a click and make everything just how you like it with the meanest, cleanest, greenest console you've ever seen. Got a server with another provider? They will personally help you move all your stuff so you don't lose anything. With affordable prices, server locations around the world, any casted DDoS protection which gives you the best possible ping, making your server rank higher, and many other games supported. Besides, there's never been a better time to grab yourself a server, and right now you can get an extra 30% off with code SHADOWFRAX. Check out my link in the description. Welcome back. And let's go to the deep sea. Now, at the moment, you can see a kind of visualization of the edge of the deep sea. And the idea is that you'll be able to sail off the map, find a portal, go through it, and you'll end up in this separate area. And by sailing off in one direction, you'll end up on the other side of the map. It's sort of a bit like Pac-Man. Right now, I think that's a little bit bugged. So what we have to do is input a command, and the command is enter deep sea. And here we are. Now, the deep sea is home to several things, so let's go through them one by one. And first is you'll see these islands that are scattered around, like little tropical islands with white sandy beaches. These are all very much work in progress, and the team are populating them with more stuff. So there's going to be, pardon me, there's going to be quite a lot of loot on these islands, apparently, but you won't be able to build on them. They just look nice. The reason why you won't be able to build on them is because the deep sea will wipe every so often, every few hours. The sea will become really choppy, radiation will increase, and you'll have to get out of there, and everything gets reset. All the loot gets reset, etc., etc. So it will be off limits for a little while, every now and again. The deep sea in totality is going to be quite a high loot area, apparently, so I am told. But at the moment, these desert islands are pretty barren. There aren't even any coconuts, which is saddening. I like the white sand, even though it looks a bit more like snow. I'm not sure whether the deep sea will actually spawn on every map size, but I was recommended 4,000, so that's what I went with. The other thing that you'll find here are ghost ships. Now, I thought when I heard ghost ships that they were going to be actual proper ghost ships, but it seems that they are these scientist-infested trawlers, and there are several of them around. So we're just going to land on this one and have a look around. Don't mind me, boys. So basically these are just like small stationary cargo ships full of scientists, which will have a lot more loot on. Excuse me, there's not very much in here at the moment. You might find one or two boxes. Moonwalking scientist there. There's a cabin area up here, which again doesn't have much in at the moment. There's the bridge. Not much going on in here. And I believe you can go all the way up to the crow's nest. At the moment, these are work in progress as well and subject to change. There's another one over here, which is slightly different again. I think if we look at spawn ghost ship B, ghost ship basic, ghost ship C, and ghost ship D. So potentially 5 different ghost ship variants could spawn. Another thing that we were told about was floating cities. Well, there's just the one floating city, which is this, but let's have a look at it. Basically, the floating city is a safe zone area, bit like a bandit camp with lots of amenities and lots of shops and one or two unique things as well. In no particular order, we've got a research bench. We've got a shop over here which sells firearms. That's what he's selling. Here's a clothing vendor. Nice. Washing machines to keep things clean. This chap down here is a boat vendor. There's also a vending machine which buys fish. That's mostly it for that section. On this side we've got another vendor here who sells turrets. You've got a small refinery just here. Here we've got a food market. That's what's on offer there. This is one thing that's going to need changing, because you are supposed to go in this end here, talk to this person, and pay for access to the farm. Now, this is actually a closed door. You're going to have to pay to get in. 150 scrap to get into the farm. Okay. 5 seconds to get in the door and no tailgating. Alright, and once inside, well, you can harvest whatever has grown, which is a lot of pumpkins. And then there's a way out the back, which, as I say, is currently open, so you could potentially scam them, but that is going to be changed, and also it's going to be changed so you can't jump into it. I found the recycler. It is underneath the farm, just here, for those of you who want to know. The last section, I think, of the floating city is the center, which is Deep Deck Casino. I thought originally in the pictures it was Poop Deck Casino, but no, it is Deep Deck. We've got a Chinook on top, Rather nice touch. All looks very inviting, very glamorous. You come in this section here. You've got an elevator, and once you get out, you've got your usual stuff, such as instruments. You've got your blackjack, you've got your slots, you've got your poker tables, 6 chippy machines. Bit overkill, but never mind. We've got a boombox as well. You've even got a pool that you can get in and relax if you like. There is an upper deck too, which currently doesn't really have much in it. There is a bar, but it seems to be closed. Yes. There are these towers as well, which I think are just decorative. There's nothing you can actually do with them. No, they seem to be empty. There's a person down here called Floating John who has a mission. Sure, what have you got? The patrolling scientist boats have been really bothering me and my neighbours. They're so noisy and they scare away all the fish. I'll reward you if you thin down their numbers. Killing 15 seafaring scientists will get you 100 scrap. And you've got an hour to do it. Okay. So, you've heard me talking about the scientist patrol boats and ribs. And here they are. And they tend to hang about in a certain part of the deep sea. I think this is still very much work in progress. I appear to be able to mount this. Oh wow, okay. And hop on board. Doesn't seem to have counted towards my quota. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to keep it, but if you are, it's certainly OP. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. Probably not. That would be too much fun. But do let me know what you think. It all seems to be very much work in progress, but I'm sure it'll be fixed in a couple of weeks. And if you want to check this out yourself, you can now get onto the Orxo 1 branch on staging by opting into the beta and get on a server. Test it all out for yourself. I hope you don't mind this video being a little bit rough around the edges. I'll be back with a little bit more of a slick one next week. But until then, leave a like and a sub, follow me on all my socials, and you can support me here on Patreon with YouTube memberships and super thanks. I shall catch you all soon, but in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio. Look, I don't really have anything special for you here this week, but I just wanted to say, for those of you who stick around to the end every week, thank you. I really appreciate you. I'll catch you all in the next episode. Stay rusty.